What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... okay. Okay. Making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Facelift. Yes, indeed. How about that? Facelift making their debut on the channel. This is a request from Jason Bryan. And Jason Bryan wanted to see me react to this song by Facelift called Love, Hate, Love. Now, okay, we got some explaining to do here. Okay, first of all, Facelift. Apparently, from what I've been told, they are a Alice in Chains tribute band. Okay, here's the thing with tribute bands. It's not like doing a cover, where I usually like to hear some differences. I like to hear bands put their own personal touch on it. You know, make the song theirs. Make it sound different from the original. When it comes to tribute bands, the whole point of tribute bands is to emulate to the best of their ability and basically do their best to impersonate the band that they're playing tribute to. So they will look the same, they will sound the same, they will play the songs note for note exactly like the original artists. So this is going to be a little different for me because, like I said, normally when it comes to covers, I like hearing people put their own spin on it. With a tribute band, I expect the bands to play the songs exactly the same. So we're going to see how this turns out. I think I've heard of Facelift. I think I have heard of them. If I'm not mistaken, they're one of the better tribute bands for Alice in Chains. So this is going to be interesting. Now, obviously, I've heard the song before. I've already said that. I actually did a reaction to a live performance that Alice in Chains did of Love, Hate, Love, and I was very clear that I had heard the song before. So I know the song, so I'm not going to be reacting to or scoring the song itself in any way. I will, however, be reacting to and scoring just how accurate and just how much Facelift sounds like Alice in Chains performing Love, Hate, Love. So that's how we're going to take this one. All right, so this was posted by Guy Bazilewicz, I guess is how you pronounce it, or Bazilewicz, Bazilewich. So Bazilewicz? Yep. Well, actually, I think it's Bazilewicz. Let's just go with Bazilewicz. Let's just go with that. So this was posted by Guy Bazilewicz, and the video has 110,688 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Facelift. Love, Hate, Love. All right, let's see how this tribute band does. Remember, when it comes to tribute bands, I'm going to be looking for as close to the original as possible. So we'll see how close they are. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
tried to love you. I thought I could. I tried to own you. I thought I would.
The guitar's nice. The guitar sounds good. The bass sounds pretty good. The drums are kind of, I don't know, they're kind of pulling forward and pulling back and pulling forward and pulling back, and I don't know how I feel about that. Feels off. The drumming feels off. Vocally, it's not bad. I mean, I know it's not Lane, obviously, but it's not bad. It's missing some of the richness of Lane's voice, some of the fullness. I mean, he's hitting the tones correctly. He's hitting, I mean, as far as tonally goes, it sounds good. He's hitting the pitches, you know, he's in key. But it's missing. It sounds, how should I put this? It doesn't sound hollow. It just sounds thin. It sounds a little thin in the voice, if I'm being honest here. It's not bad, though. It's not, like, cringy. It's just, it is a little thin, though. I think the cringiest thing so far is the drumming, but that's just me. Anyway, let's keep going here. I'm starting to get a little annoyed. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to get a little upset with that drummer. Every single time he fills, or every time he sets up the next phrase, he does, you know, whether it be a full measure or whether it be just 2 beats or whatever, every time he does some sort of a setup, he either rushes or drags. Usually he's rushing, and it's really starting to wear on me. I'm not going to make apologies, and I'm not going to make excuses. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and, you know, blow smoke up everybody's butt and go, oh, this is amazing and this is wonderful. And no, look, if I hear something I don't like, I'm going to say I don't like it. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's fills, his filling ability, his setups, I'm not saying they're trash, but I mean, every single time you're going to rush or you're going to drag, it's not even consistent. Like, usually he rushes, but there have been a couple times he's dragged, and you can hear it in the next measure. When you feel him, like, he'll rush, and then he gets into the next phrase, and you'll feel him pull back. And as a result, the whole band has to pull back with him. Dude, the bass player and the guitar player got enough on their hands, man. They don't need to be sitting here playing games with your inconsistencies in tempo. It just, I don't understand. I just do not understand. Anyway, let's keep going. That fill was on time. One of the most poignant parts of the song, one of the most apex points of the song, and they're rushing. And it's not just the drummer, it's the guitar player and the bass player as well. They're all rushing. Now that might be because the drummer's rushing, and in order to stay together, the guitar player and the bassist are like, well, here we go again. Let's just follow them. I feel for them. I've been in that position where the drummer is convinced he's a human metronome and he is right on time. Meanwhile, I have a click plugged into my ear and he's not. And he's convinced that he is. And I'm like, dude, I got bad news for you. I've had a metronome in my pocket feeding me a click the entire time. You are way off. And he'll have the gall, the audacity to sit there and go, well, and he actually said this. I've actually had drummers, I had one drummer tell me this once, well, your metronome must be broken, or your metronome must be malfunctioning. I don't think so. I got technology on my side. I feel for these guys. I do. If that's the case. Now, look, maybe it's not. Maybe they decided to rush on this part. Why? Why would you make a conscious decision to rush on this part when Alice in Chains themselves, when they get to this part, pull it back? Why would you do that? If you're trying to be a tribute band, you're supposed to be as accurate as possible to the original. You're paying homage to the original by trying to play it as accurately as possible. So I don't know. I don't know what the story is here. I don't know if it's just because the drummer is pushing ahead and everybody's just following along for the sake of sticking together, or as a collective, they made a conscious decision to rush this part as a whole. I don't know which one it is. Neither one is acceptable, but I'm more lenient on the first one because it's just one guy back there being a douche and doesn't know how to freaking count. So, I don't know. I don't know which one it is, but, oh, God. It's a shame, too, because sonically, like the sound, the tones from everybody is sounding really good. Even the vocalist, I mean, he's still not as rich as Lane Staley, but he's hitting those notes. He's hitting those sustains with the power, the right pitch. The tone is there. It's just missing some of the richness. But other than that, he's nailing it. And this drummer is just making my life miserable. walk around your drum set and play cymbals, but you can't stay in time. That's great.
Thank you.
I'll see you in the review. I'll trust me, we're gonna talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Facelift, which is an Alice in Chains tribute band with their rendition of Love, Hate, Love. This was a request from Jason Bryan. All right. I thought about it, and I have a score here, and I think my score makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense, and I'm sure most people are going to agree with me when I give this score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 6.6. Yep, 6.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
I said this before I started the video. When you're doing a tribute band, it's a completely different approach than when you're just doing a cover. When you're doing a cover, when any band does a cover, there's two ways they can go about it. One, they can play the song exactly the way it sounds, note for note, tone for tone, measure for measure, beat for beat, everything the exact same. Or you could do what I prefer, where you take the song, you put your own little spin on it, you make it sound different, and you make it yours. I prefer the second one. Now, when you're doing a tribute band, your job, your goal is to emulate and, for lack of a better word, copy and impersonate, I guess, the original act, the original band that you're playing tribute to. You want everything to look, sound the same as the original. Everything. All aspects. Wasn't feeling it with these guys. I really wasn't. And of all the songs they could pick to do, they picked this one. One of the most poignant songs in Alice in Chains repertoire. One of the most important songs in all of Alice in Chains' repertoire. And they choose to cover it. So, that being the case, and because they are a tribute band, I'm going to be tough on them. And, yeah, there was some glaring issues. Now, let's talk about the good stuff first, shall we? I think we should start with the good stuff first. And I'm going to start, surprisingly, I'm going to start with the lead vocalist, which I normally don't do. But I feel compelled to in this case because I'm going to be honest with you. I think out of everybody, he did the best job as far as imitating and impersonating. Let's talk about his tone. Okay, let's talk about his sound, his vocalizations. I thought they were actually really good. I thought they were really good. I thought he did a great job emulating Lane. I think he did a great job. Was he Lane? No, no one's going to be Lane. He didn't have the richness and the depth that Lane Staley has in his voice, but he was hitting the right notes. He was using a great tone that sounded very similar to Lane. He had some fullness in his voice, especially when he got towards the end. He started doing the ending of the song. You really started hearing project and support, and it really got strong. And I absolutely dug that. I think out of everybody, I think he sounded the best. Now, guitar and bass. I can appreciate the tone that they were getting. They sounded exactly like Alice in Chains from a guitar tone and bass tone standpoint, okay? Now, what they were playing, from what I remember of the song, I don't know the guitar part all that well. The bass line I do, and the bass player actually did a fantastic job emulating. He did. There was an issue, and I'm going to get to that issue in a little bit. I have the exact same issue with the guitar player. I'm going to get to him in a little bit as well. But from what I remember of the track, the guitar player played, from what I remember, he played pretty much exactly the way it was done on the recording, so good for him as well. So bass and guitar did a great job of playing the song. Okay, now let's get to the drummer. Here we go. Oh boy.
That's pitiful. I mean, it's absolutely pitiful to perform like that.
And I'm highly critical.
That drummer, when he was not filling, when he was not doing setups, when he was just playing along, it actually sounded really good. It did. It sounded really good. Here's my issue. Every time, and I mean, okay, well, not every time. There were a couple times, and I pointed one of them out, actually, where he actually was on time. But for the most part, whenever he would fill, whenever he would set up the next phrase, he would 80% of the time rush, or he would 10% of the time drag. Now, there was also that 10% of the time where he would be right on time. And when those rare times happened, it was nice. It sounded really good. The rushing is a glaring issue, especially on a song like Love, Hate, Love, where it's supposed to be slower. Now, if this was a faster song, if this was a more upbeat tempo song, like let's say they do We Die Young, okay? If you're going along at a little faster tempo, it could be a little more forgiving when you rush. Not much, but it could be a little more forgiving when you rush. When you're playing a slower, laid-back tempo like Love, Hate, Love, and when you rush, it's glaring. Absolutely glaring. And the sad part is, here's the guitar player and the bass player looking around like, oh crap, we better follow him. There he goes again. It seems to me like this is an issue that has not been fixed. It is not, I'm not even sure if it's even been addressed, but it feels like to me the drummer starts to go off and the drummer and the bass player are like, oh crap, how far ahead is he gonna get? You know, I got that feeling. I could be wrong, but I feel like the drummer and the bass player were kind of like, where's this gonna go? Where's this gonna go? And then they were able to land with him and then get him to come back. And that's the other thing, is when he would rush, he'd rush the fill, get back into the groove, and when he would get into the groove for the next phrase, you felt him in those first two beats pull back to get back in time. So I don't know what's going on there with the time. I don't know if the man thinks he's a human metronome who can do absolutely no wrong with his tempo, and he's got it in his head, and it's rock solid. That is more than likely the case. It's ego. Secondly, he could be playing along with a metronome, doesn't know how to follow a metronome, plays along, rushes, and then when he comes back, he's like, oh crap, there's the beat, and he comes back into it. That's also a very strong possibility. I don't know which one it is. What killed it for me, like before the last 2 minutes of the song, I was going to give them around a 7.2, 7.3, because honestly, it felt to me like it was all the drummer's doing. Like it was all the drummer. The problem is, in those last 2 minutes, the guitar player and the bass player went along with it, and they started rushing too. Now, probably because they wanted to stay with the drummer and not fall apart, you know? So, I can't really be I mean, I can be upset, but I can't be as upset at them as I am at the drummer, you know? Now then again, I could be wrong, and maybe they designed it that way. You know, if they designed it that way, I would love to know why, because the whole purpose of being a tribute band is to pay homage and to pay tribute and to stay as close to the original as possible when it comes to paying homage to the band you're paying tribute to and their repertoire, their songs. Why would you make a drastic change like that? That doesn't make any sense. That's not how the original went. The original pulled back and pulled back. Why are you rushing it? To get through it? That's not a good reason, you know? You better have a better reason than that. So, they went down from a 7.2, 7.3 down to a 6.6 because of those last 2 minutes. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I was not feeling those last 2 minutes. I could not wait for it to be over. Like I said, the high points for me, the vocals. And that shocks me. I thought that would be the low point. Nope, the vocals were the high point for me. It really was. The drumming was, without question, the low point. So I'm giving them a 6.6. Now, is a 6.6 a bad score? No, it's not a bad score. A bad score would be down on like the 2s or the 3s. A 6.6 by definition is pretty good, you know? And that's how I felt this was. It was a pretty good job. Could have been a lot better, if I'm being honest here. But it still gained a pretty good score. Now, maybe you're new to the channel. Maybe you don't know, you know, if a 6.6 really is a pretty good score. I got an easy solution for you. Take a look down below in the video description. You will very clearly see that 6.0 to 6.9 is the grading scale for pretty good. This is getting a 6.6. It's right about in the middle. So that's how I feel. That's how we are. That's where we're at. And that's where we're going to stay. 6.6, final score. I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully, I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you did enjoy the show, and you'd like to see more videos like this, feel free to join the fan base by clicking on that button down there. Yeah, you know the button I'm talking about. Click on that button, join the fan base to become one of us. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't feel like clicking on that button, that's okay. I still respect you. Also, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It'll do me a world of good and it will do you absolutely no harm whatsoever. Finally, if you guys do join the fan base, you will find a bell down there that you can click on. By clicking on that bell, it'll keep you up to date on everything happening with this channel, including when new content gets dropped. So, if you want to stay in the know, click on the bell and you'll stay in the know. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Until next time, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.